Looks like all the bitching and moaning has paid off because CEL token holders are going to be getting 25% more than the 20 cents per token they had been offered. This settlement is still not attractive because it's sending funds to people that don't deserve it. Namely, if you had, say, 1 million CEL tokens and you're some sort of Jamaican terrorist, you'd be getting an extra $50,000 on your earn claim that you just simply don't deserve. The claims for CEL token should be paid based on how much you were defrauded out of in real dollars. In terms of reaching a fair settlement, there's nothing stopping anybody from proposing this pro-rata based recovery. So you would take all those millions of dollars promised to CEL token holders and you would split them based on how much money each of the CEL token holders were defrauded out of based upon their current Celsius accounts. And you would include liquidated CEL loans in that total because they also got hammered. Now here's the interesting part. Because CEL token is a worthless fraud token, if you don't opt in to the settlement that you're offered, you get 0. For a few reasons. First off, the token is worthless. Second off, your damages claims for it being a worthless token would be subject to 510B subordination. The waterfall in bankruptcy is effectively a last in, last out situation. So if you're equity, you're at the back of the line in the bankruptcy waterfall distribution. So where would CEL token fit into that? CEL token is pre-equity, so probably at the back of the line. Now, realistically, CEL token people were defrauded and they deserve to get something, but it should be distributed on a pro-rata basis because that is the fair thing to do. Early reports are that fraud co-host Zach Miles is already turning up his nose at the 25 cents per CEL offer. What's up, Zach? Are you really trying to get 0? You have no bargaining chips because your token is worthless, just like your professional reputation, based upon your actions in the last year. You co-hosted a fraudster that's now facing 115 years in prison after denying all the crimes that he committed for the past year. Have you even come to terms with that, or are you still in denial? Do you have an apology for your victims? Why didn't you have the courage to write a letter of your own, Mr. Miles? If after bankruptcy you had said, hey, look, I'm sorry for the part I played in this tragedy. I didn't see it coming. You would have gotten away scot-free. Your reputation would have been intact. You wouldn't have had a cyber sleuth figure out that you're a horrible racist. You would have had time to delete your racist past. But instead, now we all know that you're a complete scumbag and you have no integrity, and why are you even bothering to hang around here? Now, the debtors do not want to return CEL token in kind because of the regulatory issues. If CEL is a security, the regulators don't want that returned. But really, they've already returned CEL to custody holders. Why can't they return it to earn holders? There's no harm in that because CEL is worthless, but you're fulfilling the liability in CEL token. Whatever the fuck CEL token is, you can still give that on back. Just give that on back. The promise of investment gains has now dissipated because Celsius no longer exists as a going concern and is getting put down because it was a huge fraud. And therefore, the utility token associated with the huge fraud is worthless. It's not that difficult to understand. There's 0 reason anybody would want to have CEL token unless they want a souvenir of the worst year of their life. You need to be able to articulate a reason why an asset should have value. If you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin has the most robust block history of any blockchain. It is the first cryptocurrency. Celsius spent over $600 million of depositor funds to build out its mining facilities. When it comes to Ether, the native token of the first internet computer style blockchain, Ethereum, it's desirable to have because there are so many decentralized apps deployed on the Ethereum blockchain. And one of the smart contracts is even CEL token. Let's examine ERC20 tokens, of which CEL is one. We can take an example like Chainlink. Why would you want to hold Chainlink? Well, Link can be used within the Chainlink Oracle network, which is useful because smart contracts often need to figure out what's going on in the real world after the contract has been launched. So in order to do that when executing a function, it can query an oracle to get the information it needs to properly execute that function in a desirable way as the contract was intended. Therefore, Link should have some sort of positive value. Now, how is CEL useful in any way, shape, or form? CEL used to be a token that allowed you to earn a preferred interest rate, or you could earn in CEL on the Celsius app. At this point in time, there is no Celsius, and to make matters worse, the insiders at Celsius use this token to defraud its customers. This token, if anything, has a negative value because it cost victims over $500 million. You could return CEL token if you wanted, because the promises that created the investment contract for CEL are now extinguished with the death of Celsius. The debtors do need to come clean with what they're planning to do with all this CEL token. They have well over 600 million CEL. What are they planning to do with it? Are you going to just leave it in dead wallets that somebody obscure has the keys to? Are you going to just burn them, which would be fine? Or are you going to return them to the people you owe CEL token to? It's literally the most simple thing you could do. The fact that the debtors refuse to give back something that they can repay tells you everything you need to know about the bullshit that goes on in bankruptcy. It seems like the only creative thinking in bankruptcy is how to drag things out longer and bleed creditors more dry. The reason I formally filed this CEL pro-rata objection is because, first of all, it is the fair way to deal with this, but second of all, it will be available on contingency should the CEL matters blow up in the courtroom on Monday. We will see how Mr. Caceres and Mr. Davis fare before Judge Glenn. The CEL people negotiating on behalf of CEL token holders should tread carefully because they are risking getting zero. And I hope for the innocent victims of CEL that this will be done on an individualized basis. So the people that want to press their luck and argue for more than 25 cents will be able to do so and get their zero at the end of the rainbow, but people that opt into the settlement can claim their $0.25. Perhaps the most amusing aspect of the debtor's responses to the filings it received occurs on page 14, where they cite Jason Iovine's letter. Now, being first of all the 20-something letters, he gets to be cited in the responses to all the subsequent letters, where they say, in most cases, simply, see Iovine letter above. It turns out, spamming the court with nonsense form letters is not particularly effective, even if you use your wife's name to do so. But hey, pressing Control-C and Control-V demonstrates more technical competency than Nuke Goldstein. What a guy. Until next time, catch you then.